Greetings everyone and a warm welcome to YNOT Summit 2021. I am Connor Young. I am the co-owner and the CEO of YNOT. Some of you know me from my podcast, Sell Porn or Die Trying. I'm also the founder and the producer of the YNOT Cam Awards in Hollywood. I am the designer, the mastermind behind YNOT Mail, co-founder of YNOT Community and YNOT Summit, and a 25-year veteran of the industry. So I'm going to walk you through YNOT Summit here and help all of you kind of get a feel for the site and what the features are and how to use it so you can get the most of your participation here in YNOT Summit 2021. Quickly, before we get started with the walkthrough, I just want to say thank you for attending YNOT Summit. We greatly appreciate having your participation in this event. You know, we launched YNOT Summit in 2020 in response to the pandemic as a means for everybody to stay connected, really, to keep business moving forward, make sure we had that opportunity to get together as a community and to really help share our knowledge and lift each other up and grow our businesses. And it was a tremendous success. We were incredibly heartened by the participation that we got in the 2020 event, the enthusiasm we got. And I'm really thrilled to see that there's just as much enthusiasm here going into the 2021 event. And that's just fantastic news for us. And we really hope that everybody who participates in the YNOT Summit 2021 gets a lot out of it, picks up some new tips, gets some new ideas, makes some new friends, and also just has a good time, you know, hanging out with industry peers and maybe seeing friends that they haven't been able to see at live events for quite some time. So sincerely, welcome to YNOT Summit 2021. We hope that you really enjoy this show. Now, before we continue on over to the Hopin platform where YNOT Summit will be taking place, I just want to point out a few things about the YNOTSummit.com website. This is really our external website where we present the basic information about the event, who's speaking, and what's going to be happening at the event. A couple things to point out that might be useful during your time at YNOT Summit. First, please do us a favor and click the sponsors link when you're here and just give a quick glance at these sponsors, because the truth is, without companies who give back to the industry and help support events like this, we wouldn't be able to put them on for you. And as I was saying earlier, we feel these events are incredibly important for all of us, an opportunity for us to get together as a community, like I was saying, and really share our knowledge and build those relationships, those lasting relationships that will help us with all of our efforts in the industry going forward, really. So if you see any of these sponsors at their booth in the sessions at YNOT Summit, please do us a favor and let them know that you appreciate, what they're doing, giving back to the industry and helping companies like YNOT to run events like this on behalf of the industry. Okay, the next thing I want to point out here is the schedule, and this is probably going to be one of the most useful parts of this website for you during your time at YNOT Summit. There is a schedule inside the Hopin platform, as I will show you here soon, but the schedule on YNOTSummit.com does have some nice features. So if you want to, it's a little easier to browse, I think. It has a little bit more information about the sessions. And if you want to filter them, you can, so that you only get like, hey, I want to see what's going on in day 1, day 2, day 3. You can select these here on the side to do that. Also, kind of key is we've got 2 tracks at YNOT Summit. We've got the model track and the webmaster track. So if you're just interested in the model track, you can click that. And then all of the sessions you get here on the schedule are going to be those intended just for our model track. Or you can click the webmaster track. So if you're an affiliate, a business owner, or you're an executive and you just want the webmaster track, then you can click that and you'll see all the topics available just in that track alone. So keep in mind, the times here are all Pacific Daylight Time on this website. So if you are using this schedule and not using the schedule in the Hopin platform, this website will not change these times for you. So when you're looking at the times, here, for example, this session here saying 8 a.m. Start time, that's 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time here in the United States. So wherever you are, if you're in the U.S., you're joining us from Europe or wherever you are, please make sure you do the appropriate calculations to know what time this is actually starting. Or if you're confused about that, then you will want to just check the schedule in the Hopin platform that I'm about to show you, because there it will calculate your time based on the time zone that you set for your Hopin account. Okay, finally here, when you are ready to enter the YNOT Summit site, if you're not inside it already, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you are. But if you need to figure out how to get there, just simply come to ynotsummit.com, and there's going to be this register now button that you see at the top is going to change into basically event live or join now, and then this one down here is also going to change. So you'll have links right here off of ynotsummit.com. So if you're away, you watch a session, you leave, you come back, you're like, how did I get back in there? You don't remember the Hopin URL. Just go to ynotsummit.com and click on one of these buttons here, and that will bring you over to the live event, and you can proceed from there. All right, once you've logged into Hopin with your Hopin account, you're going to land in the reception area. That's going to look something like this here. There's a few things to point out here in the reception area. You'll notice that this is selected over here as reception. This is our test site. This is not the actual site, so that's why you're seeing that title. You're going to see some things here. These black boxes are going to give you an idea at the top of the reception of things that are going on live right now. It'll kind of indicate with the blue, it's either in the networking section or in sessions or where things are going on. You'll get some information here you might want to peruse, some things here that we want to make sure you guys are aware of. I will point out that there is no recordings of sessions allowed without the permission of YNOT Events. I'm also going to point out here that you'll note I'm using a desktop browser to access the Hopin site. You can use your mobile phone to access the site, but I will say the experience is much, much, much better if you are using a laptop, a desktop, something like that to access YNOT Summit. So we highly recommend that you do that. Don't use your mobile phone if you can help it. If you do need to use your mobile phone, you can. Just know that the experience will not be as great as if you are using a desktop or a laptop. Something else to point out down here, as we get past our sponsors again, love these guys. Here's a schedule. Okay, so these dates are wrong. This is our test site, but you're going to see a schedule like this for each day, so you can select which day you're at and what's going on, and then you'll see events. You'll see the red now button to indicate things that are going on right now that are live. You'll get the times here. These times, unlike on ynotsummit.com, these times are going to switch according to the time zone that you set in your Hopin account. So make sure you have your time zone set right, and then these will adjust for you, and that will help you kind of indicate what's going on. So you can peruse for each day all the different sessions and networking events and things like that are going on. Note that it only lists a certain amount, then you'd have to click the button to see more. So, don't miss out on sessions because you didn't click that. So that's pretty much what's going on here in the reception area. And the other thing to point out here is when you're in reception, you're going to see only see it says event at the top. You're going to see all the chat and sort of text-based communication options that are available to you for event-wide. You're going to be able to access these pretty much anywhere you go in YNOT Summit, but it's the only thing you're going to get is the event-wide text options when you're in the reception area. Note you have the text chat. So let's just go right here and say this is a sample of me talking. Okay, so if you want to put any kind of a text message here, you can. This is going to show up for everybody in the event. So you're going to see text and conversations scrolling here, no matter where they are in the event, if they're in sessions or they're hanging out in the booths. People who have the event tab selected are going to see this chat going on here. So this is a great way to sort of communicate with people and see what's going on during the event. You'll see polls that'll show up here. If you want to participate in these polls, we greatly appreciate it. We'll throw new polls from time to time here. So you can just come in here and say, select whatever you want. And it will show you the results so far of that particular poll. Here, people, I'm the only one in our test event, but you'll be able to see people that are hanging out, and you can access them and get more information about them if you want. And then I want to point out this Q&A option. If you see Q&A anywhere, that means you can ask anonymous questions, or you can ask non-anonymous questions. So here's a sample of an anonymously asked question. Here's a sample of a question that's asked normally. You can upvote these questions if you think they're good questions. Normally, it's probably not a good idea to put questions in the event. If you have a question for everybody in the event, I suppose you can. But normally, you're going to want to use the Q&A when you're in a session specifically where there are expert speakers who can answer your questions. But that's pretty much how that works. So you've got text chat here. You've got polls that you can check in from time to time. You can look through people and see who's hanging out. You can check the Q&A if you've got questions. But again, probably this is best for in sessions and places like that. So that's pretty much what you got here in the reception. Let's move on to the next area, which is the stage. Now you will access the stage by selecting this navigation option here on the left. But the truth of the matter is there probably won't be much going on in the stage area for most of YNOT Summit. This is kind of a specialty area that we don't tend to use very often. You might want to watch for any announcements of any special events or special announcements that will be happening on stage. But generally, you won't be here just sort of hanging out too much. When you're thinking of seminars and places like that, that's actually, as it says right down here, that's going to be happening in sessions. So we just want, the main thing about stage to remember is don't confuse it with sessions. All the seminars and talks and things like that are going to be happening over in sessions. You might be watching this video, however, on the stage. We are going to put it on the stage here for everybody to watch. So if you're on the stage now and you see this video, great. We may change out the video later if there's information that we want to present to you here. So you can check it from time to time. If anything special is going to happen on the stage, we will post an announcement about that, and we will put it on the schedule, and then you'll see a red now show up on the stage right here to indicate that there's something of interest happening on the stage. But generally, this is not where you're going to want to be for most of the time, so that's the most important thing to remember here about the stage, really. Now I'm going to bypass sessions just for a second and jump instead over to networking to kind of just explain how this works. Networking in YNOT Summit is actually speed networking. So it's really chat roulette style. What it does is it will connect you with another random person who also wants to do networking here at YNOT Summit. And it'll give you guys 3 minutes to kind of say, who you are and introduce yourselves to each other and exchange contact information. Okay. Now, if you're going to, be involved in networking, one of the things you're going to want to do beforehand is set up your profile. Okay. So here you can set up your avatar, make sure your name, you can put your social media accounts and your title and things of that nature, so that, it helps the other side kind of know who you are, and get to know you better. The other thing to know about networking is you're going to essentially to queue up to say, I'm ready to speak with somebody. You're going to come here and you're going to click this join button. Okay. You're going to get this connecting message. Now, since I'm the only one in this test site right now, there's nobody for the site to connect me with. So it's just going to swirl. This is possible to happen for a number of reasons when the site is live. So first of all, it's never going to connect you with the same person twice. So if all the people available for networking are people you've already spoken with, it's not going to connect you to them. All the other participants could be in a session at the moment. That's the other thing. So if everybody's talking to somebody else and there's an odd number of people waiting to talk, well, somebody's going to be the odd man out while it's waiting for somebody else to reconnect and queue up. Also notice that after you speak with somebody and you're dropped back out of that particular connection, you're going to have to click that button again to re-queue up. So make sure you're doing that after you've had a speed networking session. That's another important thing to keep in mind. Generally, we have some time scheduled for speed networking. This area will work regardless of whether you see this now button or not. This feature will still work. However, generally we found it makes more sense if we have scheduled speed networking times, so those who are interested in that activity can kind of all show up at the same time. Otherwise, people wander in here and there's not enough people, and then they wander out and they never know when to come back. So look on the schedule for speed networking and look for when this red now button jumps up. And that's the best time for you to show up and do speed networking here if that's an activity that you're interested in participating in. Okay, now let's jump over to sessions, because that's going to be one of the areas where you're going to want to hang out throughout the event. This is going to be one of the most active areas of YNOT Summit. And essentially, when you arrive here in sessions, all you're going to see here, you're not going to see all the sessions that we have for all 3 days of the event. What you're going to see is sessions that are available right now. If a session is scheduled to start at, say, 1 o'clock p.m., it will not show up here in the Sessions tab until 5 minutes before. So if you see on the schedule that, hey, there's something that's supposed to start in a few minutes and I'm not seeing it in here, that's because it's just not close enough to the start time for the event. But it will pop up here magically when that session's about ready to start. Okay, we've also got essentially 2 different types of sessions. If the session here says track, like you see webmaster track or model track, these are going to be moderated sessions. You also see this yellow moderated label here. That means this is a specific topic. We have a panel of expert speakers or featured expert speakers who will be presenting on that topic. These are seminars. You'll want to hang out in here and watch what's going on and enjoy learning from these expert speakers. You'll have the opportunity to ask questions and whatnot, but you will not be going on cam. You will not have the ability to turn your cam on and off if you are not one of the speakers. You will only be able to participate in text chat for moderated sessions unless you are one of the speakers. However, we also see the open tag right here. We also have these open sessions. These are our lounges, and these are really intended for anybody, anytime, to kind of go into one of the lounges, flip their cam on, and you can chat and hang out on cam with your industry peers, talk about whatever you want to talk about. When you see a lounge open, there's really no set topic per se. You'll have the opportunity to jump in there and just kind of hang out and chat. The Chatterbait Lounge is going to be open 24/7. So even when there's no other sessions going on, if you're kind of late night and there's nothing going on until the next day and you want to hop in here and chat with some others, hey, invite them in. Say, hey, let's go hit the Chatterbait Lounge and hang out. You can do that here anytime. You don't need permission to turn your cameras on and off or your audio on and off. You'll be able to do that when you go into a lounge. So let's show you what that looks like. Now, the moderated sessions are going to look the same as this. It's just you won't be able to see this share audio and video. You'll see a button that says request to share or something along those lines if it's a moderated session, but you won't actually be able to turn your camera on and off unless you're a scheduled speaker, okay? In the lounges, you can do exactly that. So just click this share audio and video button right here, and you might get some, hey, there I am. Hey, everybody. You might get some, some pop-ups from your browser asking you to select your camera and your audio. So just make sure all that's correct. And then you go ahead and you click, the button to go live on cam, and then you will be here. Obviously, I'm the only person here. I just want to point out a few things. If I was not the only person here, you would see, if it was 3, it would be 3, cameras. You can double click to make the one large that you want to make large, like whoever you're most interested in, or you can keep everybody at the same size. That's something you can do. You can have these controls along the bottom. If you want to mute your mic, you can do that here. If you want to turn off your cam, you can do that here and then pop it right back on when you want. You've got the option to share your screen right here, which might not be available in some of the lounges, but it will be available in some of the sessions. You want to check your settings, you can do that here and kind of make sure that, hey, all your settings are ready to go. Okay. Up here, you're going to see how many open slots there are. So 1 of 18 means this is a lounge, so 18 people can be hanging out with their camera on. We're putting a limit so that the lounge doesn't get bogged down too much. If the limit's reached, you can either try another lounge if there's another one active, or you can just participate in the text chat over here while the lounge is full, and then wait for a spot to open up if you want to go live on cam. Okay. Over here, you're going to notice now, remember I was talking about the events tab before, and here's like the sample that I put in earlier in the video. We've got this session tab now. When you're in the session, this is basically the same thing. I'm going back and forth. It's still chat, polls, people, Q&A, right? You still got that. But this is only in this session will people see what you put here. So I say, hey, this is a session text. Okay, now anybody who's in the event chat's not going to see that here. but if they're in the session chat, they'll see it. So if you're watching, on an interesting topic and you want to participate in the discussion, you're not on cam, use this session chat over here to do that. That's a great way to do it. Any polls here would be just for this session, not event-wide. Probably not the best place for polls in general unless it's about something you're talking about in that session. You can also do a Q&A here, and this is where it gets a little bit more useful. If there's a session going on, and let's say it's a legal topic, for example, and you want to ask a question to the attorneys and they're busy speaking, you can do it here if you want. You can just type your question here in the chat, and if somebody sees it, they'll bring it up. The more popular sessions, this chat can get a little chaotic. You can also ask your questions here. Again, a sample of an anonymous question, a sample of a non-anonymous question. Others can upvote these questions if they like these questions and they want them answered. And then we'll tell the speakers to kind of pay attention to the questions. We'll help them, if they see questions here that they can answer while they're talking. So this is a way for you to ask questions if you don't want to just use the chat, or if you feel like your questions are getting lost in the chat because everybody's just kind of hanging out and chatting. Use the Q&A here. This is pretty much what they're, how the sessions work. If you want to pop your camera out, you can do that here and move it out of the way. Whatever you want to do, these are the options that you got here in sessions. Okay, let's move on to the the Expo area is up next. So let's move over there, and that's the last section of this walkthrough and give you an idea how that works. Okay, the last section for us to take a look at here is the Expo area. You'll find that here off the left. Just click this Expo button to navigate there. And you're going to be presented with a listing of all the different exhibits and booths that are available here at YNOT Summit for you to browse. Some of them will have this live icon to indicate that booth is set for live broadcast, and some will not, which indicates the booth has pre-recorded material available for you to browse and look through, as well as some special offers. All the booths will have some kind of an offer for you to kind of check out while you're here. Okay, let's use the YNOT booth as an example. We'll click there. And in this case, this booth is not set for live broadcast. If it was, you'd see members from our team here kind of hanging out on camera and chatting just like in the sessions. But in this case, it's not. So there is a video we've made available for people to watch. This is just a highlight reel from the 2019 Cam Awards in Hollywood that we put in the booth for people to watch. To the right, you're going to notice there's some basic information about the company for the booth you're in, and what they're all about, and this event offer. Many of the companies will have some sort of an event offer here that you can claim by clicking this button right here. That will register your interest in the offer, let the company know, and they will reach out to you either during the event or after the event to let you know how you can claim the offer that they've presented here. Okay, so that's something to definitely do when you go into booths. Take a look for this offer and see if it's something that interests you. You're going to notice at the top that you've got the booth selected here by default, but you can still access the event-wide chat. So this is if you just want to talk to everybody in the event, but you're in a booth, you'd click event again. But you have these chat options, you'll notice, just for the booth itself. Right here, you can text chat by anybody who's in the booth. If you want to see if there's anybody in the booth at the moment, you can check the people tab here to see like what's going on. Let's say you come to a booth and there's nobody staffing it at the moment and you have a question. You've got your Q&A here. You can just go ahead and ask a question and come back at the booth later to see if your question has been answered. So you've got that option as well. Okay, so that's it. You've got an overview of the entire site here for YNOT Summit. Now you can get out there and start using it, and hope you guys have a terrific show. If you do have questions during the event, a great way to get them answered is just pop over here into event chat. We will be, as organizers of the show, you'll see this organizer here when we respond to something officially. You're going to see that. We will respond to questions as they come up during the show, and hopefully everybody's going to have a smooth time. All right. Final reminder, if you're watching this on a cell phone, we highly recommend you use a laptop or a desktop to participate in the show. Everything will go a lot smoother if that's what you're using. And that's it, guys. Any questions, hit us up in an event-wide chat. We hope you have a terrific show. Thanks for watching this.